Hi, it's me, I'm back. Welcome to my channel. This is another movie review. I'm Billy, of course, and I just got done with X-Men Dark Phoenix. And boy fucking howdy was this not that good of a movie. So, some of my biggest gripes are Mystique. Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique, which, oh yeah, by the way, there's going to be spoilers in this review. A lot of them, actually. I never liked Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique. I prefer the original version with Rebecca Romijn, but literally, you could have anybody play, almost any actress, especially, because Mystique is biologically female, I guess you could say. But she can turn into anyone. So really, anyone could play Mystique, but they kept going with Jennifer Lawrence because she's a well-known name. Now, Jennifer Lawrence kept getting worse and worse in this role because you could tell she didn't give as much of a shit anymore, especially in the later X-Men movies. Her last decent one was in Days of Future Past, but I still found her kind of annoying, but in this last movie, she was almost unbearably fucking annoying. Like, you could totally tell she did not believe anything she fucking said for that character. And they fucking killed her. Which, I was like, okay, that's cool. I hated her in these newer movies anyway. Whatever. And they made her fucking good, which I never understood, because, I mean, maybe she was kind of good in the comics and in the older movies, but, like, in these newer movies, she was, like, super good, like, inherently good, and it just bugged me. It's always kind of bugged me. But, and then you have Jessica Chastain, who played this alien, Jabari, who, they are in the comics and kind of part of the Phoenix story because their planet is destroyed by the Phoenix Force and Jean Grey when she goes to absorb a... This is in the comics. When she goes to absorb a star, and it blows up and basically destroys the Jabari planet. But in the comics, the Phoenix Force destroyed their race, but yet they have a starship that goes to Earth, and so these Jabari, Jessica Chastain plays the main one, named Vuk, V-U-K, they want the Phoenix Force for themselves so they can take over Earth and destroy all the humans so they can live on Earth, basically. And the Phoenix Force ends up taking over Jean Grey while the X-Men are rescuing some astronauts in a space shuttle. And apparently the Jabari were there watching. You find this out later on in the movie. The Jabari were there watching, and they're like, they came after you. Or it came after you, and it wanted you. So, from what I know from the cartoon and from the comic, there's a symbiotic relationship between Jean Grey and the Phoenix Force. But I also found out that, and of course they're not going to mention this in the movie because it'd be too complicated, and it's got to be the last one in the X-Men series for Fox, but the real Jean Grey was apparently put off somewhere else, and the Phoenix Force just copied her body and turned her and made everybody think she was really Jean Grey when she wasn't. But that's a different story, and obviously nothing at all what happens in this movie does that happen. Anyway, so Jean Grey is there, and she's getting manipulated by this Jabari, Vuk lady, who's played by Jessica Chastain, and she's trying to get her race of people to also kill, or take, I mean, some of them seem to want to kill her, but then Vuk seems to want to take over the Phoenix Force to destroy humanity. It's not really well known. This is a shitty movie, by the way. This is a really shitty movie. And Professor X is kind of like, he's like drinking a little more in this one, and he's like, oh, I blame myself for you getting taken by the Phoenix Force. Now, again, I'm going to reference this original story again. The Phoenix Force was like after Jean Grey in the Not after, I shouldn't use that. But Jean Grey is like one of the most powerful mutants in the world in the comics. And the Phoenix Force wanted her because she was a super powerful mutant. In this story, she just sort of is there, and the Phoenix Force was like, okay, I mean, she's cool, I guess. I'll take her. And yeah, she kills Mystique, and she wait. There's Dazzler is in this. There's a scene where Cyclops and Jean Grey are out in the forest, and Dazzler's singing some pop song while she's dazzling her dazzle out in the air and everything. And Jean Grey kind of gets mad at Scott after he calls her, "The kids are calling you the Phoenix." After he says that, and then apparently it triggers something in her, and she just goes, "Stop!" And like, everybody flies backwards, normal, like, movie power stuff. And okay. They never mention Dazzler again. She's never in it. Maybe she's dead. I don't fucking know. But, yeah. She's never mentioned again at all in the movie. Never seen. Nightcrawler's okay in the movie. Storm is in it. But nobody really seems to be able to do anything. They kind of fight these aliens, but the aliens apparently are too powerful for them because, I guess, because they're aliens. But, of course, the Phoenix and Jean are the one, and she's like, the Phoenix and Jean, they are like the only ones that can basically kill these aliens. I mean, apparently nobody else can because, I don't know, they're mutants and they're not powerful enough, even though they're pretty powerful in the comics and the cartoon and all that shit. But whatever. Anyway, so apparently this movie went through a lot of reshoots, and even before the movie came out, Sophie Turner, the other actors, and the director who also wrote the movie, Simon Kinberg, said this movie is shit. They even came out and said that it was. They still released it. They still made it a movie. They even changed the ending. And it completely goes against everything that was done before. Days of Future Past reset the timeline. That was the second movie in the First Class timeline. And so when Wolverine came back in time and reset the timeline, Jean Grey was still alive as Famke Janssen, the original actress that played Jean Grey in the older X-Men movies, if you're not familiar. And, like, she was alive. In this one, she just gets absorbed by the Phoenix Force and just sort of floats around out in space. She says she's at a higher evolution, even though in the beginning of the movie, there's a voiceover by Sophie Turner where she's talking about how she's evolved, but I can almost swear she says involved instead of evolved. So let me get to it. This one's going on a little bit long. I'm going to say 2 out of 5 for this movie. It's not very good. The story isn't very good. The acting isn't very good. But I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 because Michael Fassbender is still fucking great as Magneto. And if you like Michael Fassbender, see him as Magneto because he doesn't save the movie, but he makes it a little bit better. So, thank you. Watch, like, and subscribe. And tell your friends, I guess. Hope you like this review. Thank you.